game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bug.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into the Buccaneers podcast. It's a victory episode, a looking forward episode, a lot of good stuff coming to fruition here. I'm your host, Tampa Tones. I'm alongside A-Cats. I'm alongside Huncho. I'm alongside J-Lo, special guest J-Lo in the house as well. So it's going to be a fun one here on the Buccaneers tonight. We got a lot to talk about on our Tune Me Up show. As you guys know, we have our Tune Me Up show every Tuesday usually, but with the game on Monday Night Football, we do have it on Wednesday instead. Once again, Tampa Tones here alongside the Buccaneers. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring the gentleman in from the Buccaneers. Huncho, how the hell you doing, brother? How you feeling after that victory, and are you ready for some Monday Night Football?
What's good? What's up? Oh, they got my boy Cats in here today? Oh, shit.
I am here. You're going to see I'm not looking at the camera because the Rays game is on, but I am here, yes.
You know.
As long as you can hear me, that's what matters, right? You don't need to see my face.
Exactly, bro. As long as we can hear you.
I'm just glad to have you back on, man. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has. It has. I told you I'd be back. You know, off season I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so I got all the other sports going on. But I keep up. You know.
That's why Cats is Tampa's finest. Big Rays, big Bucks, big Bolts guy, and he has to stay up to date with all of that great stuff. Obviously, does our own A-Cats. Cats, I hope you've been great, brother. I know we've still been in touch, obviously, of course, but hope all is well, brother, and great to hear from you.
Well, I don't like the score of this Rays game right now, but it's 2-0 in the bottom of the first. But I do like the Bucks 2-0 start.
There we go. I love it, brother. The Rays could turn the corner, hopefully, as they just clinched a playoff spot. And the Orioles did lose to the Astros today, so we'll see if the Rays could...
About fucking time they lost the game. Excuse my language, Tones. About fucking time, though, they lost one.
Hey, any language goes here. I love it, man. That's what brings us together.
Well, especially in Philly week, where, you know what, we're in between games against the Bears and the Eagles, two of the most obnoxious fan bases that all live here. So, yeah, you know what, it might be one of those nights where the bleep button probably would be helpful.
We need a dump button, install and a dump button or something. That's too good, Cats. Glad to have you back, brother. Excited to talk some ball with you. Won't keep you too long from Rays baseball tonight, and JC Allen joins the chat. Says, what's up, fellas? How it do, JC? Thanks for tuning in to the Buccaneers at Sports Illustrated's JC Allen, we should say. And then we got J-Lo in the house, special guest and friend of the show's J-Lo. J-Lo, thanks for joining. You've been an up-and-comer on the Buccaneers of late, brother. We are glad to have you back.
No, I appreciate it, man. 2-0, I love it, man. Like I said, proving the doubters wrong, I love it. I said they can't give me a heart attack those first couple of weeks, but you know what? It's football, man. I prefer a close game than a blowout. It makes football more fun to watch.
Yeah, it does. I mean, maybe sometimes in the Super Bowl you prefer the blowout, you know, give like that Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl, the Bucks Raiders Super Bowl, don't give you the heart attack. No, but I know 100% what you're saying. A lot of fans are saying things along the lines such as, oh, they're not beating great teams or winning too close of ball games. A couple of things there. The Vikings, they won their division last year. They won double-digit games. I know it was not the most prestige wins in the world, but they did make the playoffs, win double-digit games, and we look good against them. And then two, remember everybody coming into the year had Justin Fields as an MVP candidate, and they had this Bears team back on track. As Emad Dada joins us on Facebook, he gives us a like. So a couple of interesting things there. Hunch, we'll start with you here. We're 2-0. How are you feeling about the 2-0? Are you excited with this 2-0 start, or do you think there needs to be room for improvement, or you think it's a happy median with both?
First off, I want to say I ain't been feeling the best today, so if I just have to go off for a minute, just excuse me. But I mean, how I feel about the 2-0 start. I mean, I feel like a win is a win, and you can't be no better than 2-0 right now. We won 2 games. I know a lot of people saying that it's the Bears and the Vikings and all this. I have a friend that's a Philadelphia fan. He's talking major crap. So I just feel like y'all, I told him the same Vikings team scored how many points on y'all. So, I'm not really too worried. Like, I feel like we could score some points on them. And yeah, I'm just ready. Hopefully it's gonna be a good Monday night football. I just know prime time games in Tampa just get a little crazy, man.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm looking forward to it. I will be in attendance on Monday, and I'm very excited to be at Raymond James Stadium for my first Bucks game of the year. Hopefully I get to meet up with some of you guys. I know J-Lo plans on hanging out for NFL Sunday. Anybody that wants to join the fun is welcome to. We'll be around that area. Katz, we'll get your words since it's been a while. 2-0. How are you feeling about this Bucks team? I know the crux of Rays baseball still going on, Lightning hockey around the corner. But with all that aside, Bucks 2-0. How are you feeling about the start?
It's a great start, and I guess I haven't paid attention to the haters. People always do that if a team starts well, especially a team not expected to. Well, they didn't beat anyone. Well, we were supposed to be the nobodies, so I mean, where do they come up with this? We were a pretty heavy underdog in week 1, and we were a 2-point favorite at home for the Bears game. Is that right?
Yep.
So we were really supposed to lose them both because, you're 2-point favorite at home. You're really a 1-point underdog at a neutral site. So what the heck are they talking about? What are they complaining about? The Bucs have played solid football. I didn't even think this last game by the score. It was close for a while. I never really felt that the Bucs were going to lose that game. I felt like they were in control of it despite the close score for a while. I thought they took a big step forward from their week 1 win, which was an impressive win. Granted, it was not as pretty. The statistics might not have looked as good, but I thought this was a real complete performance, especially after the tough start where the Bears scored on the opening possession. The defense really locked it down after that, and the offense moved the ball very well. I thought Canales called a terrific game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100,000%, Katz. And the one thing you mentioned that I couldn't agree with you more as well is this game did feel like more of a complete win. When I looked at this game, when I was watching this game, is Buck what you heard? Gene in the house. What up, Gene?
What up, Gene?
How's it going, brother? That's Brother Gene from the Buck What You Heard podcast. They do a great job over there. I was on them a couple weeks back, and we hope to have Gene on here soon. We have Nick Negretti in the house. Nick Nan 100 saying Emod's my teammate. That's my teammate. Gene says the Bucks were considered a 2-3 win team post Brady. Yeah, Peter King of Sports Illustrated had us winning 2 games all year. Peter King had us finishing 31st in his power rankings, winning 2 games all season, and his explanation for that was Tom Brady.
He has something against Baker Mayfield also. So
some clown, some sports, like the main Sports Illustrated, Peter King. Listen, this guy's hated Brady forever. As Huncho just said, he hates Baker Mayfield too. Jeremy, thoughts on Peter King having us ranked 32nd coming into this, or 31st coming into the season? I'm sorry, and now suddenly he has us ranked 10th. So he had us ranked 31st going into the year. We win 2 games. Now, if you win 2 games, but people thought you were 31st coming into the year, they're still not going to put you 10th. But they put us 10th. That means Peter King was lying out of his teeth at the beginning of the year, and he really didn't know what he was talking about.
Peter King's a schmuck, man. When he made that prediction, even before we won those first 2 games, I shook my head. Like I said, only the realest Bucks fans know what this team is capable of. And as we know, he's not a Bucks fan. I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch Info Network. They're all clowns to me at the end of the day. They only really watch us because we had Tom Brady. Thank you for everything you did. But guess what? We're 2-0 without Brady. We're going out there playing our butts off. And to me, this is a different team. This is a different team compared to last year. This team is rallied around together as a unit instead of rallying around Tom Brady. Once again, no respect to Tom Brady. He's the greatest of all time. I think we can all agree to that. But, hats off to Baker Mayfield proving the doubters wrong that he can play in an offensive system that Canals is running. Maybe we might be a little rusty Monday night. Who knows? But so far, I like what I see, especially out of the defense, that front seven. Just imagine when Kancey comes back, whether it's Monday night or the next game. This defense is fast. They win. They put the heat on Justin Fields. That first drive, Fields, guys, a little touchdown, whatever. That's fine. But what did he do after that? Not much. Not much.
And we kind of assisted him there, right? Not saying, I mean, I think Bowles has been having a great year, but a couple of those plays on that first drive weren't really what we're used to seeing this year, right? Like we left Devin White out to dry on DJ Moore pretty much. So, although they did have a good first drive, I thought it was a little bit of a fluke.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it's the first drive of the game. It wasn't like they went the whole game. And like I said, it takes time. I mean, we're only in week 2, people. I mean, it takes time for our unit to come together and learn how to play together. That on the opposite side of the ball, the Lions started producing a bit better. Kadeki had a few holding calls, I believe, from what I noticed. But the offense still got it done. And, man, Mike Evans, you got to love the new offensive coordinator, what he's creating, the scheme, getting open and all that. I mean, who knows what this offense is really going to look like in a couple weeks when they're used to each other and they played together. Remind you, we had a QB competition in the preseason, so really Baker, to me, is just getting started. Who knows how good this offense can really be when they all play together as far as the offensive standpoint goes. But the defense, I ain't worried. They're holding their own.
I agree with you 100%, brother. Defense holding their own. Offense missed a few opportunities here in their last game against Chicago. We had Justin get schooled, no pun intended, on a breakup of a field goal. They did a good job of exploding through the line and taking a field goal away from us. And then as great as Baker's been and as great as our offense has been, him and the receivers missed a couple of touchdowns the first 2 weeks. But other than that, we've been playing some good all-around ball. Gene says, I love defense except for Logan Hall. We'll turn this one to you, Hunch. Or we'll actually turn it to Cats before we turn to the Cam Akers trade with Hunch. Cats, Logan Hall. Are you concerned on Logan Hall's behalf? To me, I know I think he's still a work in progress, right? We drafted this kid knowing he'd be a little bit of a work, knowing he'd be a little bit of a project. I think we've seen the signs of potential, more concerns, obviously, but I do think Hall is showing glimpses of potential, although not a ton. I think it's good that he is getting his toes wet here early on.
Yeah, he's getting his reps in. I mean, obviously, it's, I'd like to tell you, it's been disappointing, to this point, but it is what are we, 16 games plus 2 into his career? So, I'm willing to give someone a little, more time than that before, we make any real judgments on that. Not everyone comes onto the scene immediately and tears it up.
Yeah,
I don't think did he even play every game last year? 17 plus 2. I don't think he even played every game.
No, some of the games he had very low snap counts in. Like I remember against Baltimore, he only played 20 to 30% of the snaps. So we'll see what happens with him. I know, look at JTS this year, right? All of a sudden, JTS looks a lot better. And a lot of people were kind of willy-nilly on him heading into last season and this season. So I kind of lump him and Logan Hall together, not in terms of the players that they are, but in terms of how the fans and the vibes on them come across, drafting them in the first round. Hunch, loaded question for you. Thoughts on Logan Hall's situation? And B, Cam Akers traded to Minnesota. We've been talking about it in the group chat a little bit. And J.C. Allen, our great friend from Bucks Game Day SI, reported as well that the Bucks never intended to even reach out for Cam Akers. So all the smoke and mirrors, the Bucks
Yeah.
were not involved in the Akers sweepstakes. Does that surprise you? And thoughts on Logan Hall as well, brother?
Nah, because people typically they try to put two and two together. They know that we went down on running back, so people just were screaming for a name that was out there pretty much. When Todd Bowles already came out and said he's gonna stick with what we got in house, but people always want the new. But you gotta understand they got with Brady, that was like the thing that happened. Any new free agent that was out there, we went and got him, and it was just those days are like kind of gone. Like it's not like this team is who this team is right now. And I look at it like Sean McVay couldn't really use him, so I don't know. Like this is the same kind of scheme, so I don't see why we would really go get him. And pretty much about Logan Hall. I mean, I just think more reps gotta like this is JTS. It's his third year, so and he's showing flashes now. And this is only Logan Hall's like second year, and he was playing behind Akeem Hicks, so we just got to give him some time. I think more reps, he'll get better, but I'm not ready to judge him and say he's a bust right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that he's going to continue to get more plays. I think he's going to continue to get better and better as we see him throughout the year. I don't know if he'll ever be a great starting player in the NFL, but I think he'll eventually be a good depth piece. And William Golston comes to mind as well.
So
He was.
You thinking like me?
Yep, we're thinking alike tonight, brother, as we most certainly do often. And Will Golston was one of those guys that started his Bucks career a little slow, got a lot of hate coming out of the gates, and now one of the fan favorites here in Tampa. So I think it just kind of depends. It's like a cookie cutter, right? They come in different shapes and sizes, but at the end of the day, we're going to try and mold that player to the best of their abilities. We'll see if it ever happens. I have faith it will happen with Logan Hall. And we have a huge Monday Night Football matchup on our hands coming up against the Eagles. We're going to briefly talk about the victory a little bit more here before we turn the corner to that. But before we do all that, we do have a couple of announcements. A giveaway winner. We did a giveaway this week, and pay attention for giveaways, and more giveaways throughout the year. We're going to do a weekly contest, and then if the Bucks win, we'll announce a winner that week. If the Bucks don't win, we'll kick the giveaway down the road until the next week and the next week until we win. But hey, I expect to do 17 giveaways and then have us win damn near weekly. So last week's winner will receive a Luke Gadecki signed and inscribed mini helmet. And we do have the winner picked, but we're going to wait till our Friday show to announce it, and we're going to tweet it on Friday night as well. I think that'd be cool to make it into a Friday night type of thing. A lot of eyes on that show. So Friday night, the winner will be announced for the giveaway. And then pay attention for another giveaway coming this Sunday. I'm not going to share what it is yet, but let's just say it's either going to be a game-used Bucks item, football card, something along the lines of your favorite Bucks stuff, possibly coming to your house, coming to your front door in the near future on behalf of the Buccaneers and the guys here. So be on the lookout for all that and so much more. We're in the works of making Mike Williams and Halloween Buccaneers themed t-shirts for the late great M. Will. We're going to honor him on our Halloween edition t-shirts, and we're really going to have a lot of cool stuff coming your guys' way throughout the 2023 football season. And I've been excited about our growth, our friends, and our guests here on the Buccaneers as you guys are tuned in on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Facebook, and so much more. Fellas, before we turn the page on Monday and before we turn the page on Sunday and focus in on Monday, I guess I'm already looking forward to Monday. One great thing that you witnessed from this past week's game, and I'll start it before we kick it to Cats, and then we'll go around the table. One thing I loved about this past week's game was the play calling offensively again. And I tried to have people tweet at me that they haven't been impressed with Dave Canales and his play calling to this point, and I kind of laugh and giggle at that for multiple reasons. It's a breath of fresh air almost every play out there. Running plays, we get creative, right? I don't mind losing a yard on a creative run play instead of just going up the middle every time. And we really haven't lost many yards on run plays. But what I mean on that is we've seen shotgun runs where Rashad White starts on the right side of the quarterback, ends up doing a little curl behind the quarterback. We've seen tight end sweeps. We've seen wide receiver sweeps. We've seen immaculate play actions that just are missing a little bit of execution. Once we get that down, we've missed a couple touchdowns already to this point. But I think we're doing an incredible job calling offensive plays. I think that we're keeping the defense on their toes. I think we're doing a hell of a job drawing up Mike Evans and Chris Godwin to get open in coverage. And on top of all that as well, I think we've given Rashad White and Sean Tucker some decent running chances. And I think they're both going to continue to get better and find the holes more and more often as the season goes on. But quite frankly, I've been impressed with Dave Canales' play calling. Could it get better? Sure. But let's remember, this is year one for him. He's going to continue to get better weekly. And I think week 1 to week 2 already showed that improvement that Dave Canales can make. Katz, we'll start with you here. Dave Canales, offensively, what's your thoughts on him so far after 2 games? And any comment on fans saying that he's not as advertised? I only had 2 people tweet that at me, but I'm not really sure about those tweets. I don't really understand.
Well, what are they watching, and are they forgetting what we saw last year in comparison? He's done a great job. I mean, you know, you can tell that he's got a plan. Obviously, he's learning because it is his first year, like you mentioned, calling plays. But they have a plan, and they're sticking to it. It's not just silliness like what you saw last season where, you know, you were going to run the ball on first down, run it on second, and end up throwing the ball 50 times. There's a plan. They're executing it well. It's not perfect. I mean, it's still a new, you know, he's still new to it. But yeah, you can see they're not predictable. You're seeing play action utilized on early downs, something we begged for a while. You're seeing that being used. You're seeing, you know, you're right. You're seeing different plays run out of different, you know, runs out of different formations, actually spreading the defense out, you know. So I've been so impressed by what he's done. And like I said, you can tell the players are buying into what he's doing and the way he's calling plays. And I have been impressed as an understatement. So I'm not sure what some of those people complaining are watching. They must be watching a different team.
Yeah, maybe they're watching the East Carolina Buccaneers, or you know, maybe they're watching some other team out there. Who knows what the heck they're watching? But quite frankly, Katz and I are on the same page. Hunch, we'll go to you next. Not only about Dave Canales and the job he's done, but anything else impress you, or what impressed you the most this past week against the Bears in that victory?
Yeah, Dave Canales is doing an awesome job. He's doing a good job. I mean, yeah, execution could get cleaned up, but he's calling some great plays. You know, he's learning, taking his bumps, but he's for the most part, he's made some great play calls. I just think the execution has to be better. Baker left some throws out there. I know he wish he could have back and throw again, because we definitely had some strikes in the end zone. But what I was impressed with, honestly, is might not be major, but Zion McCullough, man, he stepped up, you know, for Jamel Dean. I mean, for Carlton Davis, he stepped in and he did a phenomenal job, man. I can't say how good he was enough, bro. Like, he stepped in and he almost had an interception, what we thought was an interception, and he's been playing solid since the season started. So I'm impressed with him, and I hope he continues to build on that and get better in that regards. But I do have a problem with the other side, Jamel Dean, that guy. Yeah, he needs to get wake the fuck up ASAP. But
yeah, he could be better for sure. You think that has to do with Carlton not being out there, or you think he should hold his own regardless?
No, he played bad last week also. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but he's just looking like he's just a tad bit late. He's not reacting fast, and he's not showing like he's even giving a full effort. I mean, Winfield is rushing to every tackle, and I just see Jamel Dean. He's not using his burst, his speed to get there. So I don't know what's going on with him, but I hope he figure it out soon.
Don't make a scene. It's Jamel Dean. We'll see if he could figure it out. I think, you know, he will figure it out. He's a very good player in this league, and he's had his back up against the wall before. I remember his first game ever against Seattle. He got torched, and you have to wonder, even for a guy like Jamel Dean, he cramped up this past Sunday. Sometimes at Tampa Heat gets the best of you, and no excuse. He's surely got to be a little bit better. That's what we paid him for, and he will be. I think so. Hopefully he flips it on. J-Lo, thoughts on Jamel Dean and anything that stuck out from your mind from this past Sunday's win against the Bears before we flip the page to the Eagles?
I do agree with Honcho. Dean, I think, I think to me it's a wake-up call this past game, for him to step up and play better, and I think he will as far as that concerned. Every corner has their ups and downs, and I'm a believer that Dean will have a better couple games coming up. I feel like Monday night under the lights, hopefully Carlton gets better and be ready to go. We'll have a 2 duo against Philly, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, rough game for him, but I think he'll come back strong. Like I said, it's football. Unfortunately, not every game you're going to be on top of your game, no matter how much you're getting paid or how well you're playing. It happens. Have a rough time. And then as far as how I feel, 2-0. I kept saying they were going to beat Minnesota, and they did. I knew they were going to beat the Bears. It wasn't going to be the most prettiest, but, they took care of business. And hats off to Shaq Barrett, man. Getting a sack into the quarterback, his inspiration.
How awesome was that? I felt so happy when I seen Shaq get that. First the sack, and you could tell that was awesome, even though Fields lost no yards, still incredible. And then that interception, J-Lo, I felt my heart was the happiest it's been in a while.
As a father of 2 daughters, I totally feel for him and the inspiration he's bringing, dedicating this season to his daughter. God bless him. And you know what? God bless the whole team getting behind him. Everybody's all behind him. Even the owners, the Glaziers, getting behind him, restructuring his contract. He's going to be back next year. I don't care what fans say. He's out to a hot start. So at the end of the day, I give my highest praise to Shaq Barrett. Going and playing with all the emotions, coming out with torn Achilles. And he looked pretty good to me. He looked pretty much like his normal self. Maybe not getting stats, but getting after the quarterback, putting pressure is what we need. Because you put pressure and then you teach the youngsters behind you, between JTS, who look phenomenal. Then you got Anthony Nelson, who's pushing JTS. And then you got Yaya Diaby, who I think is a stud. Like I said, at the end of the day, this is a totally different football team from last year, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to get better. No matter what people say, I don't care what Peter King or anybody says, this is a football team.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't think I'm really concerned with the likes of Peter King, although I did bring up his crappy, terrible bullshit opinion earlier. I don't really care about it, and I don't really care about him. So that's a great point, J-Lo. Many great points, especially Shaq Barrett. He had a tremendous game, and his chain is tremendous as well. It's a memorial of his daughter, has his little baby girl on his chain, and it's truly incredible. And hats off to the Barrett family for not only going through the recovery of a torn ACL, but obviously to battle and combat the loss of their loved daughter is just terrible to see. And it's been great to see Tampa Bay surround Shaq and give him love. Speaking of surround and give love, the Punt Prince deserves some love too, as Gene says. Jay Camarda, he's been off to a hell of a start. And also tip of the cap to him for tying the knot with quite the lucky lady. She looks pretty dang nice, so maybe he's lucky as well. But shout out to Camarda for getting married off the field. Katz, thoughts on Jay Camarda as a punter and how good he's been, and do you think he could play a pivotal role in Monday night's matchup with the Eagles? The Eagles do have a pretty fierce defense, so we might have to settle the punt a little more.
Yeah, no, that was he had a tremendous game. In particular, off the block field goal. He managed to hustle, cover up the ball. Otherwise, it's a scoop and score, and then you're down 14-3. That completely changes the game. So that was a huge play. And then the defense too on the sudden change, backing the Bears up, going 3 and out, and then we scored, and then that was it was all that was all she wrote really. At that point, I was pretty confident. But he had a 72-yard punt, net 52. He's been fantastic. He was fantastic last year. You're right. We are going to probably need him field position battle. But again, we play good complementary football outside of the blocked field goal. But even on that, like I said, he was able to, make a huge play to prevent the Bears from scooping and scoring on that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was a huge play by Camarda that went overlooked by some, but not here, as Katz does a great job of pointing that out. That was an incredible play that Camarda made. A game-saving touchdown play that Camarda potentially made and changed the game. So Jake's been an incredible punter, and we've been really lucky to have him as well. Speaking of lucky,
he's a good athlete. I'll tell you, he seems like, for a punter, I'm not saying punters aren't good athletes, but in particular, he's a good athlete. I think if you remember last year, late in that game against Carolina and late in the season, he made that play on the terrible snap. He was somehow able to pick it up and punt the ball. So he's shown some athleticism as well, I think. I've been impressed really with him ever since.
That was an awesome one last year, Katz, when he ran around, had to pick it up and punt it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of punters, how many punters can do that. So, I've been very impressed by him all around.
Even in the great punt class that was last year, you had the punt god and a couple others. We ended up with the big winner, it looks like, in Camarda. Speaking of winners, we do play Monday Night Football, and the winner moves to 3-0. The game is 7:15 Eastern Time on ESPN, and our announcers for that one will be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman as we set to battle the Eagles on a Monday Night Football doubleheader. And Jeremy, we'll look at you here. If we're not talking about Camarda, what's one thing that hypes you up for Monday Night Football? I think Katz has made some great points of how Camarda could be a luxury piece of ours heading into this fierce battle of 2-0s on Monday night, even though we're 7-point underdogs. I like our chances, and I think Camarda's a big reason behind that. What say you, Jeremy? What are you looking at on Monday Night Football heading into this one against the former NFC champs?
The truth is, we had defeated Jalen Hurts twice in 1 year. And to me, I don't think he's no different. Gracie.
Hi! We got a special guest.
Sorry, special guest in the house. Gracie.
Hi!
Here.
Hey, that's the most adorable guest we have, so we'll take it. Helps make up for this face.
I don't feel bad right with you, but no, but I'm excited against Philly. I don't really fear them as most other people fear. I think they're very beatable. The question is, I'm not concerned with the defensive part of the scheme, but I'm more questioning about the offense, how they're going to perform. Because everybody's trying to gang up saying, oh, they beat two bad teams, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I keep asking people, have you watched how the Bucs played against Jalen Hurts a couple of years ago, twice? And what happened? We shut him down. He couldn't do anything, especially in the wild card game. If he scored, could we let him score? So don't you think Todd Bowles is coming up with a scheme right now to play against Philadelphia's offense? But the real question is against this Philadelphia defense, who I think is very underrated, no matter who's in that corner. And that's going to be the fun part to watch. So to me, I'm more excited to see what Canals comes up with against the defending NFC champions, Philadelphia Eagles at home with the home crowd. Yeah, I know it's dead. But at the end of the day, I don't fear Philly as a threat as much as other fans do. I think we can make it a close one, maybe even pull out a win. At the end of the day, if Baker's turnover free, which I think he can be, if we get a run game going, because Rachaad White was getting going pretty well around the football, then I think we can definitely pull out an upset win at home. You know, we're the underdogs. So, and especially if you're going to be there, Tone, they better win for you, brother. Like I said, you come all the way from up north. I mean,
it ain't easy, man. And flights aren't cheap right now. Hotels aren't cheap. Ever since Brady went to Tampa, the price has really gone up on going to a Bucs game, which I don't mind at all. But tickets for this week are crazy. People are selling them to Eagles fans because the damn things are $200, $300. It's ridiculous. I know it's Rondé's Hall of Fame induction ceremony and all that stuff, but man, it's just crazy at what you got to pay to get into Ray J now.
Hey, you know what? Here's what I'll tell you, the Philadelphia fans that show up Monday night. Thank you for your contribution. Going home with a loss, buddy.
Yeah, I
take it all in.
I ditto that. And Gene says, "Oh God, those two clowns talking about Buck and Aikman. Yeah, they'll probably." Yeah, those two clowns, I can't say that on air, but we'll talk off air at what I think about those two. Listen,
What I missed?
we're going over things we're looking out for on Monday night against the Eagles. Hunch, I'll give mine quick, and then you could give yours before we get to our one big things and walk off. But one thing I'm looking forward to Monday night against the Eagles is how we plan on combating Jalen Hurts and company, and to see if Fields' lack of running ability was really, really at the feet of the Bucks defense, or more so the hindrance of the Bears coaching staff. I do think the Bucks drew up some incredible plays on defense. I think Casey Rogers, Larry Foote, and Todd Bowles have done an incredible job of combating the front seven, especially out there. I think guys like Greg Gaines, Vita Vea, William Golston, and the rest of the bunch have done an incredible job of holding their own up front. And I'm interested to see if we could do it again against, to me, the second best running quarterback in the league. I think Lamar is the best scrambler. I think Hurts is the second best scrambler. It'll be interesting to see how we do against a luxury like Hurts, and if we could keep him in check like we did Justin Fields. And that all starts with up the middle, and up our middle is big Vita Vea, big Levante David, and big Devin White, who really didn't let Justin Fields get past them three on Sunday. I'm very excited to see if those three could do the same against Hurts on Monday. Hunch, so far we've had Katz talk about Canales and the things he brings to the table a little bit. J-Lo talked about a couple of things as well that we could be looking out for on Monday against the Eagles, and I pretty much just topped it off with what I just said about containing Jalen Hurts potentially. What has you hyped for Monday? What's one big thing you're looking out for in this Bucks Eagles matchup as we head into a Monday Night Football doubleheader?
Defense. I'm definitely gonna say Todd Bowles. You're gonna have to go in your bag. I mean, you're gonna have to go, like, if you really want to win this game, you're gonna have to prepare like a Kansas City Super Bowl type of defense for this type of offense and what they can bring, because they got running, they got tight ends, they got wide receivers, they got a mobile quarterback. You got to draw the game plan to slow down their whole offense. I mean, they got a decent O-line, so you got to win in the trenches. You got Brown out there, you got Smith out there. I mean, you got Gabbert, whatever his name, tight end, and then they got their running back. He's just looking crazy. Swift is looking just phenomenal right now. So Todd, I just want to, if he could slow down the offense, then I'm pretty sure our offense can put up some points against their defense. So that's my main concern is Todd slowing down their offense enough so our offense can put up some points and get in the groove and see what we can do, because I believe they got a new defensive coordinator too. So we're gonna see how that turns out. I have a lot of faith in Todd Bowles. He's not. You're not just gonna keep beating Todd Bowles every time you play him. And last time the Eagles, I believe, they beat us. And second time around, Todd's pretty good at getting his lick back. So we're gonna see if he can contain Hurts and slow down the passing game, and definitely it starts up front with the run game first. So if we could force them to be one-dimensional, we could go from there. But we definitely gotta play better, because Justin Fields is trash. Let's just get that out of the way. Justin Fields is trash.
Booty.
I was looking at the film. He is real deal trash. And I expect Hurts to key on and know his keys and make a lot of reads, not hold the ball so long like Fields did. And he knows his offense and his system. So I'm not expecting the same mistakes coming from Hurts that I did from Fields. So I just want our guys to play up the par into competition. Yeah, definitely. Devin White needs a Super Bowl. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Gene.
Yeah, I agree as well. And Devin White needs to keep it stepped up. I think he's done a good job so far this season of playing some pretty good football. Speaking of football and pretty good football, we have our man getting enshrined into the Hall of Fame at halftime for the Buccaneers this coming week. We have Rondé Barber, the legend who
Win that.
shut the vet down, the
Yeah.
man with the plan, one of my favorite
Against
Bucks
the Eagles too.
against the Eagles,
Of
bro.
course.
How
Against the Eagles, we
exciting
gotta
is
win.
this?
Shut
we
down
don't
the
get-
vet, baby.
We got
He
it.
shut down the vet.
And we don't get a ROH member
We
this
definitely-
year. For those unaware, ROH is Ring of Honor. The Bucks don't plan on inducting anyone into our Ring of Honor this year, which to me makes this Hall of Fame announcement that much better for Rondé Barber. Real quick, before we do our one big things and walk-offs, we're going to go around and give our favorite Rondé either memory or moment on the field in tribute to number 20, the man who really sets it up. And to me, week in and week out, it seems like Antoine Winfield looks a little bit more and more like Rondé Barber out there, to be honest. He's like a hybrid of Rondé and his dad, Antoine Winfield Sr., which beautiful thing, two great players, which is really awesome to hear. We'll start with J-Lo this time and work our way around. J-Lo, favorite Rondé memory? Could be on the field, could be off the field, could be with the Bucks, could be when he was at Virginia, or could be in the broadcast booth, or anything in between.
Oh man, so many of them growing up as a kid watching Rondé Barber. But if I had to pick one, believe it or not, it was in 2006 when the Eagles came here. And I remember I was one of those fans sitting by the tunnel where they come in and out and warm up. I was one of those kid fans, and he walked up, he signed a little bit of autographs, and I asked him, Rondé, score me a touchdown, bro. And you know what he told me? He told me which end zone. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh wow.
He came back with the ultimate. He came back with like the most biggest comeback on me. So I'm like, the one by the pirate ship. And turns out the man turned both interceptions to both end zones, which was crazy. I was there. It was amazing. It's the Eagles of all teams. And let me tell you, those Philadelphia fans were so pissed. They hate Rondé Barber and the Bucks. They hate us so much. And that's why when they come here Monday night, if I go, now I'm debating financially, if I go, I'll be rocking my Rondé Barber away jersey, Reebok, showing the Philadelphia fans what's up. And Rondé Barber not only retired your stadium, but also pit sits Donovan McNabb twice back-to-back end zones. So that's my memory of Rondé Barber. Because there's so many of them, but that by far is my favorite one. When he told me which end zone, and I was like, oh.
That is awesome, and I'll be wearing my white Reebok Rondé Barber jersey as well. It might look a little snug, but I'm wearing it regardless, damn it. Why not? Have to wear the Rondé white jersey, right? I got to wear it, man. It's his day, so we'll see how that works out. Huncho, your favorite Rondé moment? I think Jeremy had a great one that's really an incredible story. On or off the field, favorite Rondé moment, Hunch?
I'm jelly because y'all both got Rondé jerseys. Like, I'm very, very salty right now. I'm real salty about that right now.
You got good merch too, though.
Yeah, I'm happy for y'all. That's a dope jersey, dog. But of course, it's probably like everybody's one of their favorite memories of Rondé picking off. I believe what that was, the Philadelphia game. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia intercepting Donovan McNabb play, running back, pointing at his name in the back in the cold, blistering cold. That was a moment set us up to go to the Super Bowl, I believe, right? So, yeah, that's one of my fondest moments of Rondé, but he's just a professional. And I love when he actually commentates our games off the field. That's one of my moments when he's commentating. And he's giving it a very good perspective, because a lot of people that commentate on our games don't really know the team, or they're not familiar with it. And a lot of them talk shit about us or whatever and try to. But Rondé, he's smooth. He knows the organization. He kind of knows what's going on, so he speaks highly of us. And I just love when they have him on the broadcast, man. It just feels like we're gonna win the game every time I hear his voice out there.
I love it, Hunch, and him and Chris Myers make a great preseason combo team. I love those two together. Cats,
right?
Excuse me. Favorite Rondé Barber memory, Cats, on or off the field?
Shut the vet down. Very easy one for me. Not only is that my favorite Rondé Barber moment, that's my favorite Bucks moment, and that might be my favorite all-time sports moment. In fact, so that's a very easy one. And that entire game, it was not even just that play in particular, but he was fantastic that entire game. He had a strip sack, forced fumble. He had multiple pass breakups. But yeah, that's my favorite Rondé memory, bar none. There's a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. He had just a tremendous career. You know, I still remember his rookie year. He didn't play his rookie year. It was a struggle. I remember his first career interception was against the Giants and his twin brother's team. But yeah, shutting the bet down is easy number one for me.
And I think you're 100% right, Cats. I'd go in that direction. But since all you guys have, Jeremy went with the personal story. You guys kind of hit the nail on the head with shutting the vet down, right? One of the best things you could do as a Buck. I'll give a couple stories. We have friend of the show's current Florida International outside linebackers coach, Anthony Gator, joined the program a couple times a year, and he always talks about his time playing with Rondé Barber. Him and Rondé played 2 seasons together, and anytime Anthony is on the show, he alludes to how great of a pro Rondé was. You know, how much he looked out for him, how much he mentored him, how much he taught him. And I think that's just incredible. Anytime you have outside linebackers coach talking about how much you made an impact on them almost a decade, well, actually more than a decade after you got done playing together, I think that shows how much Rondé Barber left his mark, not only on Anthony Gator, but probably all of the Bucks he's ever played with. So that shows how big of a pro he is, making an impact on a guy like Anthony Gator's life. Truly incredible. And then one time I ran into Rondé Barber in downtown Indianapolis, and it was a truly incredible experience. This was before the Bucks Colts preseason game last season. And let's just say Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, Bruce Arians, and Tom Moore were having a little bit of fun. And Rondé was just a great guy, chatting about personal stories with Rondé. Me and him have met before that, and he remembered it. So it was truly incredible getting to meet Rondé on a personal basis a couple of times, getting able to have a couple of drinks with him in Indianapolis, you know, talking about Tiki Barber, talking about some real life stuff. Bruce Arians was there. It was probably one of my favorite moments I could ask for, getting drinks with Rondé, Bruce Arians, and Chris Myers, all while in downtown Indianapolis before Bucks Colts game. Let's just say Bruce could go shot for shot with the rest of him. Cleve and me says, what will be harder Monday, limiting Eagles' explosive plays?
Yeah, Monday, my guy.
Well, you know, Joey's got a bachelor party on deck for the weekend, so his head's probably you know, somewhere here or there. But what will be harder? We're going to go around the horn quick about these comments. We'll start with you on this question, Hunch. What will be harder Monday, limiting Eagles' explosive plays or keeping Baker clean against the
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. But I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles' explosive plays, because we really gotta limit them. We gotta limit them, and that could be the hard.
I think limiting the Eagles plays,
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
that's what could be harder for.
I agree. Anytime you got guys like A.J. Brown, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, it's going to be a tall task for sure. Cats, this next one.
And Goddard.
Yeah, Dallas Goddard as well. I mean, even their O-line with Jason Kelsey and all those sorts of guys. So just really star powerful offense that the Eagles do bring to
Jason
the table.
Who?
I'm not a big Kelsey brother fan.
Hey, not to cut you off, Tones, but didn't Vita Vea pancake his happy ass a couple times when they played a couple years ago? I just want to throw that out there before we keep
Vita Vea did get the best of Kelsey on more times than one, more occasions than one, when these two teams did square off, and we got the best of the Eagles a couple of times. So it was incredible. Great points there, J-Lo. And Cats, this one's for you before we get to the Jeremy comment. Cats, SVU is back. Not a Bucks question, but Cats, will let you take over the comment to that one.
SVU, I've been looking to when the season premiere is, and I've yet to hear when it is. Do we have a date yet for that?
I think it's in December. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's in December.
They're making us wait because usually it's September. But I look forward to it returning at some point. I wish they would bring Amanda Rollins back. I don't think they're going to, although she did make a guest appearance late last season. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the season to start up because usually it's in September and they haven't announced it. So yeah, it might be a late start this year, but always looking forward to SVU resuming whenever that might be.
I guess it starts 2024 January. He says the strike pushed it back a little bit. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because this is later than ever. That makes sense. Well, you know what? Good things come to those who wait. So that means the show needs to be extra good because they're making us wait. So that's the way I look at that.
I couldn't agree more, brother. Then Jeremy, this last comment's for you before we do our one big things and walk-offs. Cleve and me says, love the show as always. Kudos, Hunch, and Jerem. Obviously, he shouted out Cats as well with his SVU question. And then me, Sador, says if Canty can go, he will give a huge push up front for the Bucks. Jeremy, this one's all you. A, does Canty play on Monday? And B, if he does, how much do we see the big fella?
Oof, tough one. I definitely feel he will not start. I feel like if he does play, it will be on a snap count because those calf injuries are not easy to come back from. So I think, honestly, depending on practice, he does play. I feel like this is a big game for him to come in there and play against a team like Philadelphia to get, make himself noticed. Honestly, which I feel like he has already. I feel like when he played the Minnesota game, he looked pretty damn good to me. So I say if he played, it'd be a snap count. Right, Gracie?
Hey, she knows best. We're going to start going to Gracie for more details and information as the year goes on. She's our little insider. That's what we'll call her for sure. Last one. I'll handle this. Yeah.
Hey.
Fire the cannons for Gracie. Go Bucks. That's the best Go Bucks we'll probably ever get. Cleve and me, last one. Is it a bad statement to say the Bucks tight ends are just simply not good enough? Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really bad statement. I think Cade Otton's been incredible this season besides his one drop that he did have. I think Cade Otton is showing pretty dang good signs of life, to be honest. I think he's really done a nice job of getting open, and I think he's going to develop a little bit. It might take him a little bit more time, but I think Cade Otton, when it's all said and done, will be a pretty effective tight end. I mean, the kid has 8 catches through 2 games. That's pretty good, right? Especially when you consider you got Mike Evans, you got Chris Godwin, you got Trey Palmer to feed as well. Yep.
Solid tight end, bro. Solid.
So I think Cade Otton will be a pretty dang good member of this tight end room moving forward. Obviously, I think the depth of the room could be in question. Wells obviously had a big fumble last week. It's really his first chance of trying to vie for a position. And then Payne Durham, we're really not sure what he has yet, as we haven't seen a lot from the kid from Purdue. I think he does have potential, but I think O'Keefe in the blocking game and Cade Otton in the pass catching game have shown really good signs of life for the Bucks tight end room. I think you have a point in terms of the depth of the room, but I think we do have 2 nice tight end options at the front half of the room for different reasons, catching and blocking. So, gentlemen, it's about time to give our one big thing and walk-offs for the show before our last words and closeout. J-Lo, we'll start with you. One big thing and walk-off for this Tune Me Up Wednesday edition of the Buccaneers.
That personally, I feel like we could go 3-0. I don't fear Philadelphia at this point. I feel like the defense will be fine on its own, and I feel like Canellis will get a good offensive game plan to get the ball moving, and not only that, but time of possession to keep Fields off the field. And I feel, truthfully, I'm throwing my prediction right now, Bucks 20, Philadelphia 17. And I say it because, one, I'm confident in this defense. They play pretty strong. And if we get a healthy Carlton Davis back, it'll be even a plus.
Mhm.
But even Zion McCollum, I feel like is very simple to the plate. I feel like he will be a huge contributor to the defense if City's not ready. And like I said, Canty on a snap count, I'm fine with that. As far as offense goes, I mean, I see big things out of our two receivers, out of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, because James Bradbury's been injured. He's been hurting. He didn't play the last game, so he's not going to be a full 100%. So, and plus, they lost their starting nickel for the season, which is a key factor, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, I say Butts 20, Philly 17 in a close one. Game-winning field goal, Chase McLaughlin. Let's fucking go.
Big game Chase. That would be incredible. He's already paid some dividends for us this year early on. That's for sure. Hunch, if you're with us, what's your one big thing in walk off, brother? I don't know if Hunch is still with
Big
us. If
thing
Cats will go to,
is,
oh, yep, we got
you
Hunch.
can hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you, brother.
One big thing is I want to see the team play more consistent, and we gotta execute. Don't leave no points on the field. I mean, Baker has to hit all those big throws, short throws, no overthrowing. I just want to see Chris routes. I want to see Chris throwing, and the timing has to be right. No mistake. I want to see mistake-free football. Limit the penalties, because it seemed like last week when every time we got a penalty, it killed the drive, and we end up punting it right while we were driving down the field every time. So I think we should limit the penalties. Is the key thing to do, and then from there, just play some crisp football.
I agree with you there, Hunch. I think playing crisp football is key in this one. Cats, one big thing in walk off heading into Monday night, sir.
Well, I don't know what Carlton Davis's status is, but getting him back would be quite big for this particular game, I believe. What does he have, turf toe? Is that what we know as of now?
Yes, sir. Turf toe, it looks like, for Carlton.
That's painful to play through.
We'll know
But,
tomorrow.
wow. Well, it would be big to have him back against this offense that we're facing. But whether you do get him back or not, one thing very important, you have to do something you did the first 2 weeks. You got to win the turnover battle against a team like this. You really do. I mean, it's almost any team, but especially against a good team like Philadelphia. You're really going to need to win that turnover battle. Play clean football, play good complementary football, which we've done so far, and you give yourself a chance. That's really all you can ask for. New England, I thought, played them well defensively. I didn't watch that entire game, but they did look human. I know it was week one. Whether our defense is better than the Pats, you could argue one way or the other. I think both teams have good units. But I look for us to stay in this game. I'm not ready to make a prediction. I do need to see how Carlton's doing. That's very important to me. But yeah, you got to play mistake-free and win the turnover battle if you're going to have any chance to win this one.
That's a great call right there, Cats. And I'll leave my one big thing and walk off with Tampa Mayor Jane Castor officially declaring September 20th, 2023 as Rondé Barber Day in Tampa. So today's officially Rondé Barber Day. Rick Stroud just tweeted that out. Pretty interesting stuff there. And I'll also say this, the rest of this week's schedule. We'll be here Friday night, time to be announced, but we will be here Friday for our preview show for Monday Night Football. But we will not have the way too early pregame show this week, as I'll be in Tampa, Florida for the game. So we'll be here Friday, and then we're going to take off the way too early pregame show, and then we'll actually be back a week from tonight breaking down the Monday night game and talking about the big Saints matchup. And at the same token, the Cam Akers trade bait is revealed. It was a late round pick compensation swap for Akers and a 6th round pick, Akers and a 7th round pick in 2026 were traded for a 6th round pick in 2026. So pretty much the Rams giving up Akers at the snap of a finger, and the Vikings seeing if he has anything left in the tank. Fellas, any last words or whatnot before we bounce out of here? I thank you all all of you gentlemen very much so for joining. I know Katz has his raise. I know Hunch has obligations on Wednesdays, and I know J-Lo has dad duties on the go around. So I appreciate all three of you gentlemen joining tonight. Any last words or food for thought before we log off here, fellas?
Well, that's one of the best things Jane Coster's ever done.
Yeah,
well, let's not go. I shouldn't go there. Oh, no, she named it Rondé Barber. That is one of the best things she's ever done in her time. But you know what? Let's not go there. But sorry, Jane. We love you, Jane. I'm just kidding.
I think we all agree with you, Katz. But yeah, great stuff there, Katz. It's been great seeing you, brother, and really a pleasure to have you back, brother. Always a great time with the Cats, man, on the Buccaneers. We love having you, bro.
It is a pleasure to be back, and it won't be the last you see of me.
Yeah, that's what I love to hear. Is my man Katz is a great one, always and forever. J-Lo, any last words, brother?
Hey, go Rays, man. Raise up. You know, we got.
No, thank you. They've got a long way to come back in this one, but still some time. So hopefully they can win this one. If not, whatever. Yeah, if not, it's just one game. Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I said, you know, raise up. I'm gonna root for them all the way through, no matter how it ends. And then, as far as my comments, thank you for having me, Tones. Always appreciate it, man. Let me come on here, talk Buck football. And at the end of the day, I'm excited for Monday night. Financial, we'll see if I can make it. If I can, cool. If not, hey, go Bucs, baby. We're gonna pull this one out, go 3-0. Mark my words right now. Mark it right now. 3-0, baby. I'm not scared of Philadelphia at this point. They're very beatable. And at the end of the day, anybody can win on a given day. And if Baker plays the last couple of games he's played, not turn the ball over, our game to win, baby. Go Bucs.
I'm amped, brother. I can't wait for that, as I do think Huncho is logged off. If not, you could feel free to jump in with his last word. But I think it's been an incredible round of last words from ACAT, from J-Lo. And my last word is this. Tune back in Friday. Time to be announced. Find out the giveaway winner. Find out final score predictions. We do have a special guest for Friday. Pay attention on Twitter for that special guest. You can keep up with us at Buccaneers on Twitter, at Buccaneers Pod on Instagram, at Buccaneers Podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and so much more. Once again, on behalf of Tampa Tones, you can keep up with me on Twitter at Tampa Tones. It's been J-Lo. It's been Katz making his return. And it's been Hunch being back again as well. Always great with Katz, Hunch, and J-Lo, three of the best in the business. And I appreciate these gentlemen joining me on this beautiful Tune Me Up Wednesday of the Buccaneers. Even with the Rays on making their playoff push, even with a bunch of things to do in the Tampa area, we were right here giving you guys all the content you need. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Fire the damn cannon. Stay safe out there, brothers. Much love all around. We'll be back Friday night. Hope to see some of you this weekend as well. Gentlemen, have a great night.
Go Bucs.
Thank you.
Go Bucs.
Go.
Fire the damn cannons.
Fire the
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucks.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.